Not
There.
exactly.
Can you hear me?
Best, I can't.
All right.
I don't exactly have the best lighting in the world here, but I think it'll be fine. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're starting a little early, but I was just, I moved my office around a little bit.
I see that.
Yeah, so I switched everything kind of. So I just wanted to get stuff set up or up and running early. Excuse me, up and running early, so I could see if it was working. Yeah, I also got, I don't know if you can tell, so I don't have my other microphone hooked up. This is just my Microsoft Skype headset. How does that sound? Okay.
It actually sounds pretty good, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't have the other one hooked up or anything, but I also got a Logitech. Do I have a mirror? I don't think I do. So I got a Logitech HD webcam.
Ooh, all right. That actually, I don't know if it's more clear or not. I'll have to go back and look at some of our other videos. They're just so much different because it's your office is certainly arranged differently.
Yeah,
like you're facing a completely different wall back there.
Exactly. Yeah. So I've moved around. So this is the way that I'm facing is the way that the way that the camera was seeing before this. So
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks good.
I have. What do you use to manage the windows on your? Shoot, I don't know what mine is called, but I do like Control, Command, Alt, Arrow, and it can move windows around and like shuffle where the windows are placed.
I don't think I've ever tried that. That's what is that?
No, it's an app that I have running. Hold on. What's it called here?
Outside of like the general gesture control, I don't really use much of anything.
Why would they put the name of this app? Oh, here it is. Size Up. Size P. So I have Size Up.
Well, marketing is really overrated in today's world.
Yeah, I click the thing at the top of the screen because it runs all the time, obviously. But you can set whatever you want. So there's tons of different shortcuts you can set. But you can like send window left, send it to the upper left, send it to the second left half, send it to the second space. You can do all types of stuff. So
that would be just one more thing for me to get sucked into and learning.
I really only know two of them generally. So I just send windows to different monitors.
I have on my trackpad, the gesture, so I can go all four up, all four down, and that kind of explodes everything out. And
you only have the one monitor, right?
No, I have two.
Oh, do you? Oh, okay. So yeah. What are the two sizes of your monitors?
Well, I have the normal iMac, and then I have a vertical monitor right beside it.
Okay, cool. I've experimented with the vertical ones.
I'm not sure if I'm sold on it or not, but I'm too lazy to take it down.
Yeah.
So it's like it's there, and I think really what it is, it's too much this way.
Right.
Yeah. I'm constantly looking, and my neck gets tired.
Yeah.
Whereas if everything was just, if I just moved everything in and just had it on the iMac, then I could probably sit, slightly more ergonomic, and it would certainly make typing more ergonomic, because invariably what I find is that I'm either, straight on with my iMac screen, or I'm, typing this
way over to the side.
Looking at, because my text editor is on the vertical screen.
Well, of course. What else would you have there? You don't. Yeah. So you want all that text over there, but your main monitor is the one like directly in front of you.
Right. So you're constantly you're either like this, or and then looking back to check the UI, which really isn't that convenient either, because I'm
Right.
not reading blog posts on the big screen,
Right.
or on the vertical screen. So I don't know. I mean, so it was a great little experiment, and now it's just become facts of life that I may never get rid of, because now I have to store another monitor.
Well, this weekend, I tore this whole thing down and cleaned everything, because everything gets so dusty and it's so hard to dust around it.
And yeah, my desk is such a mess. I really should just put everything in a box and clean it, and then if it doesn't come back out of the box, I obviously don't need it.
That's basically what I did, and I just haven't reset. I haven't set up the audio stuff yet, but I figured, well, for this, we're just recording it, letting Zoom record it, and I'm just basically what I do is I upload the entire Zoom video, the MP4 that comes down, and then I use like the YouTube video editor to generally have to edit the front of it. I have to trim the front. Sure. Because it starts recording as soon as I start it, and then there's maybe however long until you join, and so I edit out the part with me like sitting here and reading I don't think that's very interesting. So
no, that's actually pretty nice, and really that's really all we need. Because we just get too concerned with all the details and the incidents. Like we need to have this whole big production.
Well, so where is your microphone placed?
Right here.
Okay, because in the other audio, in the other videos, your audio is a lot better than mine, and or at least a lot louder. And I think that my microphone is just too far away, so I just need to.
Well, and I think I have a different microphone, and I have to be careful, because apparently it really picks up and projects. So I tried to speak with a very inside voice.
Right.
Because it does.
I can pull it down here. I have it set up, but not hooked up. See if I can get it all the way out here. But this microphone, this is actually like a really nice microphone.
Oh, yeah.
But it needs to be like this for me to use it. You know what I mean? So and this is not good for video, obviously. So I don't know.
Right, but it's great for radio.
Yeah. So I think maybe I'll just keep it for the different audio stuff. And this one that I'm wearing here is probably satisfactory for this.
And so I have the
is that the Blue Yeti?
The Blue Nessie.
Oh.
But yeah, same type of thing, or just
and it's USB,
and I can plug in my headphones into it, so I can get the sound, and here's the
cool. Yep. Let me see if this works here. If my idea works. It was in my hand here. This came today.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, so this is my first iPhone. I've never had an iPhone before. So we'll see how that goes.
It'll be a little bit different than the Android.
Yep, it'll take some getting. What button do I push to do the selfie mode?
Oh, so you just need to click on your phone.
Here we go.
And then it has reverse. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So that's the webcam. I'll just pull it back a little bit. So that's the webcam essentially. That's up on top of the monitor. So the webcam does audio as well.
Well, and there's the other thing. It's like you can't just buy a device that does one thing.
Right. So
I just want a really good webcam. Well, no, you can't have that. You have to buy the one that also does selfie sticks and and different video and sound. And of course, it has a mixer for all of those.
Right. This webcam has a place to plug in not plug in, but screw into a tripod. So I could theoretically
just kind of put it off to the side
if I wanted to.
And why?
I'm not sure why.
Is that one of? I guess it could be one of those things where if it's plugged in, and maybe you don't want to be in front of your computer screen. Maybe
Yeah.
you just want be out. I don't know. But there again, it's just like, oh.
But it takes the computer for it to work, so I have to have a computer with me. It's not like a camera, you know what I mean? So yeah, so while you don't need a
and I guess if your laptop is down here, you can have a tripod, and to have your webcam up and pointing down. So
I suppose I could have it around here behind me, over my shoulder, if we wanted to.
Who knows? Perhaps there's some sort of chest harness that you can also have.
Right. So we taught. Let me grab this real quick. Stand by. This also came this week.
Oh, yes.
So, is that backwards for you?
No, but that did freak me out because when I showed you the blue Nessie thing, I'm like, what, is that backwards? That's weird. No, that was very easy to read for me. So I don't know.
What kind of so anyway, so last week, and I was just looking, I just made me think of it. I haven't read it yet, so I'm not prepared to talk about it. But last week we talked about trying to switch these to 30 minutes. Are we still on board for that?
Yes. And to really throw a monkey wrench into that, I'm going to backtrack just a little bit. I'm kind of curious to see when you cut the recording, if the recording shows that as reversible.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And, is it recording the two images on your screen, or is it actually, splicing them so that'll be interesting. So
I bet it is splicing them because I have to download. When I push stop recording, it downloads that file.
Yes. So that'll be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
If both of those are not, or both of those are readable, which would only make sense. So anyway, but yeah, so I think that the 30-minute format is definitely the better way to go, and especially if we can, because I think that'll help us stay on topic a little bit. Not that we, are really strict about that anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, so good. So you got that. I've never actually read the book. I've only listened to it.
You know what? Maybe I don't remember if I've read it or not either, actually, now that you mentioned that. I know I've listened to it. I know I have it on Audible.
Yeah. Yeah, so I've only listened to it on Audible, and I've listened to it a couple of times. I didn't get a chance to listen to it since last week.
Oh, you did do it?
I did not.
Oh, no. Okay.
No. I'm in the exact same boat as you. So
okay, so let's postpone that until next week.
Yes.
Let's make that our topic next week. Really specifically about the mini retirements, right? Is getting the is that portion of. Is that what you wanted to talk? Is that what you think is best to talk about?
I think so. I mean, so I think that as we actually reread it again, there'll probably be all sorts of things to talk about.
There very well may be. There might be other little nuggets.
Right. I'm sure that we're only remembering the mini retirements. I'm sure that there's some helpful hints on how to get there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So the one thing that you mentioned last week, I think you mentioned it 2 weeks ago, is that your team recently switched to Kanban, and I was kind of curious about what that is. Well, I guess I understand what Kanban is, but I don't really know the full differences between Agile and Kanban and what.
And I'm not positive I know the differences at this point either. And what I do understand is that Kanban has at least killed the bulk of our useless meetings.
Oh, all right, good.
So we don't have sprint planning anymore. We haven't had so we've been on this for about 3 weeks. We haven't had a retrospective in about 3 weeks. So a lot of the formalities that Agile Scrum kind of implements, the 2-week sprint, the very, kind of siloed stuff, we haven't done. And I'm not sure if that's good or bad.
So there's no sprints, right? The concept of sprint is gone.
Correct.
Okay.
Even though we still use it in our parlance for whatever reason. And I think that's a mistake because, we don't have sprints. It seems like we're releasing about once a week now. So
faster.
Yes. So as we get a body of work done, we're getting things to master faster. And we just got cleared, through the higher ups that we don't have a specific release window anymore, which before we did, and so that's where Agile really helped out, that we could hit those release windows and get things out. But that's bad in some ways too, because if you miss the window, well, what do? You wait another week until another window rolls around?
I see.
What are we doing here? Launching satellites in orbit?
Right. We have to hit the moon.
It's not exactly like we're waiting for the Earth's tilt to be at an optimum angle to get code to the internet.
Right.
So a lot of that arbitrary, internal stuff is gone. But one of the things that I think that we're missing, we're actually going to do this Friday, is have a demo for the stakeholders, because that was part of our Agile sprint. So before we do retrospective, we'd have a demo for the stakeholders, then do retro, and then go into sprint planning. You throw all those meetings out. Well, when do you schedule a demo?
Yeah, right.
So I think that there's some inherent. It's a lot more free form. Are you familiar with like a Kanban board and how it works?
Yeah. So I use I do use something, kanbanflow.com. I use that along with the Pomodoro technique. So I work for 25 minutes and then the thing rings. I take a break for 5.
Oh, I should instead of just playing on my phone for 25 minutes and that sounds you should put those in the show notes. So we've been using Jira, and we use Jira for our Agile planning. But Jira also has a Kanban board, and so we're using that. So tasks are pullable, and you pull those into a different lane. So we have like a backlog, a UX, content design, a design review, which is kind of where we're supposed to pull things, from which we're supposed to pull things, and then a development, a code review, a QA test, merged release, QA on QA master, and release production.
So is that really that much? I could see using that in Agile.
Yeah, but and we kind of did in Agile. And so like I said, they're just so similar. I don't know. I've been doing more cross-functional stuff. So instead of just being just doing Ruby, it's like they're really wanting us to kind of pull from the top of that, so that the product owner has more control over what tasks or features or bugs we're working on. Well, the problem with that is we have a very advanced UI. Meaning that we're using like React and some. If you're a UI person, you'd be fine. Because we have Bower and Gulp and all the buzzwordy front end stuff. Well, when you're just a back end person, or with a working knowledge of all that, but you don't spend your time up there building, you're running grunt tasks or whatnot,
right?
So getting up there and just doing something quickly is a thing of the past. We're not exactly using the Rails asset pipeline. We have a custom build task to build our UI out. And,
right.
So it's just like, right. So that's taking a little bit to get used to, but
it's more than. And I know exactly what you mean, only because of other projects. So it's not if you did $class selector .hide, that's not something that they want you to do. That's
no.
there's much better ways in your framework to remove things from the view, for example.
Right, and yeah, exactly, and just refactoring a simple, just the simple styling, getting up there, getting your hands dirty, getting it done does not cut it anymore because now, for instance, I had a pull request last week from a style, from a design standpoint. Designer looked at it, he's like, check off, done. From a PR standpoint, it's like, well, let's can we refactor X, Y, and Z into its own component?
Yeah.
So that it could be reused and
blah
blah blah. And I mean, it's just and it's not going to be reused because it was like an email verification. It's very specific to where it's supposed to be.
Right.
And but the UI guys wanted it into its own component and this, that, and the other. So, okay. So whatever floats your boat, guys. We'll get it done.
Right.
So, but it's a great learning experience, and I'm pretty happy with that. So it has given me an excuse to brush up on my front end chops a little bit more.
Right. So in your so where you have been though, prior to having being forced to work on some of the UI, were you doing grunt builds at all in the first place? I mean, were you even doing any of that stuff?
No.
Okay, so for you even to just get set up to just touch something was like you got to set up the I have to install Node.
Yeah, I did have Node, and I had, so I could do that. And like when that stuff was first committed, I made a point to make sure that I had all of it. And truthfully, outside of if it were not for Ionic and the Ionic framework, I probably wouldn't have a lot of experience with Node, Grunt, or Gulp. Because Ionic uses all of that. Yeah. And so at least with that, I have to get in there and at least have a working understanding of how it's, doing certain things. But so the divergence of front end and back end is pretty amazing at how quickly that happened. And I'm actually kind of reminded, sitting on the other side of the fence. Remember when we first started on the Subaru project, and Jerry, would have all this back end stuff.
The Ant make an Ant build.
Sure, so great, creating all this back end specific stuff, and when we a constant point of frustration was like, did he ever test the stuff on the front end to make sure it didn't break anything?
Right.
And the answer is no, of course he didn't, because he didn't want to have anything to do with the front end.
Right.
And the reason for that is, I'm kind of sitting in his spot now. Yeah. Because the front end has changed so much from when I did it.
Right.
That it's like, this is, I need to learn 7 different things. And
and just because it doesn't build doesn't mean it's your fault. So what's even the point of trying to see if it works? Because if it does, terrific. But if it doesn't, what are you going to do? You know what I mean?
And back then it was only jQuery. That's the most complex thing that we were running.
Yeah,
was jQuery, and it was like, Jerry just didn't want to have anything to do with jQuery.
Right.
His mind has to just be melting down with
our biggest issue, our biggest kind of technical hurdle was loading files in the correct order. Making sure that this was loaded prior to this, and this page relies on this version of jQuery, but the features we have on this page need an upgraded version of jQuery. So now we have 2 versions. What do we do? How do we solve those things? Yeah, that was our technical hurdle back then. with that,
8 years ago or 10 years ago. But yeah, so it's pretty amazing how fast things move.
Oh yeah.
And just trying to stay up to speed on that. And that's where we've talked about it before. I think that it's very, very difficult to be a full stack developer and be good at everything.
Well, the second half of that's the key, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you could easily say, "Oh no, I know everything." Just I can do that, but that's half of it, right?
Right. Yeah.
Syntax of something is very little to what we actually need to know.
Yeah, and you make those design decisions. Like Fermi is a perfect example of this. It's I've done everything on that design to back end implementation, and you make conscious decisions based on what you know. And so the CSS is not going to be componentized, or not going to use gulp or power, because I normally don't use that. Now
right.
That's not if if you and I were working on that, we'd probably separate that out quite a bit. Whereas and in fact, I did. We'll have to chat on Slack at some point in time. I'm making a Fermi app.
Oh yeah, that's cool. And you already wrote it's already all set up with APIs, right?
Yes, I finished the API, and now I'm just working on the implementation. And I'm actually to the point where I need to rewrite the actual workout player. So I have that written in Rails in CoffeeScript, and works great. It's fast, it's efficient. But now having to rewrite that for Angular is somewhat of a challenge. But yeah, so it's like staying on the API side of things. It is pretty fast and easy. Getting back into the app, on the other hand, front end just really slows me down anymore.
Yeah,
which isn't bad.
Well, and that's like we talked about, that's understandable. I mean, you're not trying to go out and get jobs doing that and insisting that you are good at. And in contrast, I'm not trying to get back end jobs. I'm not trying to help people with that because I'm terribly slow. Right? If I can figure out problems that are based on patterns, but certainly can't. I mean, I there's lots of nuanced things that you that's the experience. Yeah.
Well, and I'll tell you what. I'll speak for myself. I'm also not going out and actively looking for full stack developer jobs anymore either.
No.
That where they want everything from API creation to running the latest version of React and
I think that those jobs, that's a red flag anyway.
Yes.
Similarly, if the job description has rockstar, ninja, magician, there's I don't know what the other ones are, but some of those, when you see them, those words are also red flags that I don't want anything to do with this company.
Right. If they're calling me a unicorn.
Right, a miracle worker. I may or may not be able to work miracles, but I'm not interested in being counted on miracles.
No, I'm certainly not interested in trying.
We might get one every now and then, into normal day-to-day work, but don't count on me for them, please. It's just a letdown. So
and you're right. Those positions are absolutely a red flag. Our own projects, completely different story. But I'm not beholden to any stakeholders or any release schedule to I just play around with something until it hack around with it until it works, and go back and revisit it. And I think that we should all have those long running personal projects just to see how things develop and change.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and on the flip side of that, kind of maybe leading us into this next topic, which we probably will save. I think we're looking at like 5:25. But that next topic we wanted to talk about was that single freelancer to two freelance, trying to replace yourself in the thing. And I do have a small update from my outsource
Oh, good.
thing, and they are I think for my website, the Cyclops Percussion website, they want somewhere in the neighborhood of like $4,000 for this thing, and that includes. And I didn't know if it was going to or not. I really just wanted to see what they would come up with, but that includes the administration part.
Oh, really?
So basically, what it is, in a nutshell, is just digital downloads, right? So you kind of, when you pay for something, you have to create an account so that you have access to a link, some type of download link. We'll see how that works out. But like I said, so really, and they said, if you give us approval, we'll have this done by Thanksgiving. And I said, well, that's terrific, but I'm not interested in paying all that money by Thanksgiving. So I want to have it spread out. In addition, I'd like for it to be slower so that I can make changes before you get too far, right? You know what I mean? So I said, let's plan on having the design done by Thanksgiving, which I think is going to be like $400 or something for the design.
Okay.
And then I think that's pretty reasonable,
Sure, yeah.
As a dollar. So
well, and that's it kind of goes back to when I had that logo design for $300 or
right.
that. Right. It was nice sitting back and just clicking on designs that I liked as they came in versus putzing around in Photoshop, wasting hours.
Well, and that's what we talked about. We've talked about it before, right? But literally, I can spend 45 minutes to an hour playing with some type of gradients or some type of rounding or some type of embossing, right? Or something, on a button. And it's like, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. It just that's a button, let it be done as a button, and someone who's more qualified can figure out what that's supposed to look like.
And this is where I really, you should send me the timer that you're using for your Pomodoro. If you're able to time box certain, I shouldn't say meaningless, but less valuable tasks.
Yeah.
My OCD picks in or sets in, and I really want to go down this rabbit hole of making this look a certain way.
Right.
I have a certain thought process in mind, but being able to explore that, but also having a timer that says, "Hey, that was fun, but you didn't succeed. You failed in your quest. It's time to move on."
Yeah. Yep. So and I'll put it in the show notes. But it's kanbanflow.com, and you could sign in with your Google. You just start creating some cards, and actually, what else I'll include is I think you've heard of John Sonmez. Have you heard of him?
I'm not sure if I have.
I'll send you a YouTube video of how to use Kanban Flow that he made.
Okay. So. Well, this actually looks. It almost looks cleaner than Jira.
I don't like Jira. I'm sorry. I'm
Jira
tired
styling. Well, you probably. We've been using Jira for a long time, off and on.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be worse. We could have stuck with the fog bugs or something.
Yeah, exactly.
No offense, fog bugs.
No offense to in case we ever get them as a sponsor.
Or anyone that really enjoys, that particular software. We mean
right.
Relax, calm down, go have a kombucha.
Yeah. So I do like that Kanban Flow a lot better, and I'm just finding the link to put in the notes as well.
Well, this would be pretty interesting to see if I would like to use this in terms of. I pulled it up because I've been using Pivotal Tracker for like personal projects, but I have a tough time staying motivated using it. Because you either have to spend time in Pivotal Tracker, and if you're in Pivotal Tracker making it look nice and this, that, and the other, then you're not actually doing the valuable work of coding.
Yeah, right.
Well, so you either need to hire a developer or hire a project manager.
Yeah. So when you first load up that Kanban flow, what's across the top? What do you have as the column names?
Oh, I haven't actually signed up for the account yet.
I thought that it came up with a thing. So mine just has, I set it up, it says today, and then it has Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and it has weekend, then it has later, and that's all I have.
Okay, so it's just stuff that you're working on any given day instead of like an actual swim lane that you're moving.
Correct.
Over to. Okay, that's interesting.
Yep. So the only movement that I will do, so for example, I'm looking at my Tuesday, and there's one task in here that I didn't complete. I'll drag that over to Wednesday. So,
okay.
Yeah, that's all. Or if I'm, so tomorrow morning, I'll look at my Wednesday swim lane, and I'll say, well, that's deprioritized or whatever. I can move it to the weekend. I can move it to later, or whatever. So, I should make a quick video about this, the way that I do it too. I have another board that I call completed, so that I think the link that I'll put in the show notes is how John Somnes does it. He has a swim lane for completed, and he moves stuff to it. But I have a whole nother board, so it's just so the tasks don't get deleted, but they're not in my radar at all.
Right.
So maybe I'll do that.
Did you put that in? Did you Slack that to me, or are you just going to put that in the?
I'll just put that in the notes. I can Slack it though, real quick. I have it. You want the YouTube video?
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. So that's it. Yeah. So I mean, we can probably make a more concerted effort to maybe talk about that, next week in terms of workflow.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, but it's really easy to get off topic initially, and
yeah,
we should get on and chit chat for 10 minutes or more, and then actually have a sign that says, "Okay, go."
That's a good idea. Yeah,
so we don't even start recording until, that's, that would be the Slack board would be the point.
Actually, so yeah, that is a good idea. So maybe we do that. Is so we can still hold them to 30 minutes, but we'll try to meet at like 5 minutes to 5, and then go until 5:35 or something.
Yeah,
and the first
5:40. Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah. But that way we can kind of edit it down to that.
Right.
That 30 minutes.
That's a good idea. Plus, the other thing that I was thinking about doing, just really as an experiment, was to I don't know if you've looked lately on Fiverr, for $5 they'll make like a video intro for YouTube, and so I was like, some of the examples they have are actually pretty cool. So I was like, we have like one of us saying, this November 17th, blah blah blah, and then we do this intro, and then it's me and you, kind of talking. Is it more just kind of a video editing / Fiverr experiment? Because I'm always interested in seeing what we can get done for $5.
Absolutely.
So
all right, yeah. So let's talk about that next week if you haven't already done it, then we can put it in the things to do.
Yeah, I'll put that in the thing, and we can talk about that too. So, all right, that sounds good. So I'll get this one posted, and that'll be that. So, do you want to try to meet? Do you want to try to meet twice a week?
This week I wouldn't be able to. But,
okay. That's fine. So next week on Thursday is Stacy's birthday, and it's Thanksgiving. So we'll kind of table that for now. So we'll do this obviously today is the 17th. Next week we'll plan on Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday and play by ear.
Yeah, then we can.
Are you shopping Black Friday?
If I do, it'll be online, so I won't be going. I won't be leaving the house. Shoot, I don't leave the house for work. I don't mind shopping. So. Why are you going anywhere?
Oh no. Yeah, I hate crowds and people in general.
Well, I think I told you, my brother and I, we used to line up at Best Buy.
Well, I know you did. That's why I asked. And I didn't know if that was still something that excited you.
Nope. No, it does not. Sitting outside does not. Plus, these stores are opening like 5 p.m. on Thanksgiving.
That's just nuts.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think people like all day Thursday or something. Yeah. I don't know if they get out there Wednesday night. I'm not sure, but I wouldn't be interested in that. So.
No. That's for the young, apparently.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but when my brother and I used to do it, 7-8 years ago, my normal hourly wage was what, $15, $18 an hour, right? So you figure, well, how much, if for me to wait outside for 10 hours, if I can save $200, it's worth it.
It's the Photoshop effect.
But yeah, precisely right. Yeah, exactly. So am I going to spend 10 hours at this? And you figure, like I said, whatever we make, but it's not worth between $500 and $1,000 to spend 10 hours doing something. So
no, you're not going to recoup that.
No.
Though, if you just took video of what you're doing and didn't buy anything, you might recoup it in YouTube hits.
Well, and that's another thing that we need to put on our list. I think we'll name it. I think we'll try to push it for December 1st. But I do think that we should have some YouTubers, that we kind of look at and say, this I can do. You know what I mean? This is what I think my channel should be. So let's maybe try to aim for that on December 1st.
I would probably be interested in watching drone video footage of like people, camping online for Black Friday or perhaps, some of the Occupy, Black Lives Matter movement.
Yeah.
But you're really testing your drone skills because that thing is getting shot down, or
probably would. Not only that, but
it was a beer bottle.
I can't find. I don't know where I would go to find that stuff. So Black Friday shopping I can find, but I don't know where I can go to find, Occupy movements. We'll see. Yeah, but maybe I'll go out there Black Friday. I'll go out there Thanksgiving evening and videotape some folks waiting in line. At least I can go to my local. Well, Walmart, they don't wait outside, though, do they? I think Walmart.
I don't know. They allow you to wait inside at Walmart?
I don't think there's any real waiting. I think you just go in and mill around. I'm not sure.
Ooh, they just cart the stuff out, and it's just like a big frenzy free for all.
Yeah, that's why people get hurt at Walmart, because they bring stuff out on pallets, like you've seen them stocking shelf. They bring stuff out on that, and they'll have it out, and it'll just be like covered with the saran wrap type stuff that they ship stuff in, or some cardboard or whatever, and then they say, "Oh, it's time," and they pull it off, and it is like a frenzy.
So it's kind of like dropping the cow into the Amazon and just watching.
Right. At Jurassic Park. Right. Whereas at Best Buy, so when you wait outside at Best Buy, you wait in line, the store is closed, they come out, and there's obviously this person was here first, that person was here last, and they have
vouchers.
Right. Yeah, they come out and they say, well, we have 6 of these laptops. Who wants one? If the first 6 want one, then they're gone, and then they have the piece of paper. They're not racing around the store trying to find the laptop that's $100 or something.
I mean, I guess there is something to be said about the scavenger hunt, but
right.
At the end of the day,
right.
Are you out to help people or are you out to hurt people?
Well, are you asking me or are you asking theoretically? Rhetorically.
It's rhetorical.
Right. So,
all right. Anyway, yeah, that's one of those. We should actually talk about. We should talk about Black Friday next week. That should be our topic.
Let me add that. That's a good idea. Sounds good. And you know what? To be honest with you, for now, no one's watching these videos anyway, so it doesn't matter. But once we start getting real viewers, I will pull this into Final Cut or iMovie or something and edit out as we discuss what we're going to talk about next week. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So we'll actually make some real edits. But for now, who cares? We'll just push the content up.
That sounds good.
People can comment or not comment or whatever they do.
I'll start posting it on Facebook or something and see if my troll friends will.
Plus, I think if we can, once we start editing, so if we're recording for 30 minutes and we edit, we might only have like 15, 18 minutes. That's less intimidating than looking at like an hour and 7-minute video. You know what I mean?
Completely. Yeah, completely
it's
agree.
A little intimidating. So. But,
all right then.
All right. Have a great week, and let's put some ideas into Slack, and we'll get together next week.
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds good. Talk to you in a bit.
Right. Yeah,
see you
later. Bye.